Merry Christmas, everyone. This is the not only the ending of Christmania 2022, but it is Christmas Day. I hope you all have a great holiday, whatever you celebrate, surrounded by loved ones, and hopefully watching some good Christmas movies. I know I have over this series. Some duds, but overall, most of them were pretty solid. So did a pretty good job picking them this year. But let's close things out with the 2021 film 8-Bit Christmas, which was an HBO Max exclusive. It tells the story of a father, played by Neil Patrick Harris, who is taking his daughter to his childhood home to celebrate Christmas with his parents, her grandparents. And while they're waiting, a story is told over how he got a Nintendo Entertainment System in the late 80s. And the movie primarily takes place in the late 80s and shows how he ended up getting the Nintendo. I actually heard some modest recommendations for this one, specifically from my friend Rachel at Rachel's Reviews. So when I was planning this out, I thought to myself, I think I should sit down and watch this. And I'm glad I did, because honestly, this one was pretty good. I do have some problems with it, but overall, I think this is pretty solid. Neil Patrick Harris, the few times that we do see him actually on screen, is actually quite good, and he does have some funny lines. And I love how his daughter starts out and she just wants nothing but to text her friend because she doesn't have a phone, so she has to use her father's phone in order to do it. But he's like telling her the story, and by the end she's invested in it. It's basically the same framing device as The Princess Bride, if that makes any sense. Basically, the best I can describe this movie is the framing device of A Princess Bride combined with the same child looking for getting a certain gift for Christmas that A Christmas Story perfected. But instead of A Christmas Story, which was set in the late 40s, 8-Bit Christmas takes place in 1987, or into 88. That is one of my problems with the movie, because there are certain scenes I was sitting there thinking to myself, that's almost a direct ripoff, or not a direct ripoff, but it was definitely a heavy inspiration, especially one particular scene involving some encyclopedias and the whole video game violence thing. You'll know when you see it. It's very similar to the whole "you'll shoot your eye out" thing. There was also some parts that I just thought were really weird. For example, there's a bully in the movie, and just looking at him, thinking to myself, you should be in high school, dude. Unless you're held back like really bad, you should be in high school right now. And you look like you're in a middle school right now. This movie is certainly crazy in parts, but a lot of it is good. There's one scene where the father, not Neil Patrick Harris, who's the father of his daughter, but the father of Neil Patrick Harris's character as a boy, played by Steve Zahn, is a bit out there. So much so that there's a scene where they're in the mall doing their Christmas shopping, and the boy loses his retainer. And I have never had a retainer, but according to this movie, losing your retainer is a fate worse than death. So, realizing this, the boy has to run through the mall in order to get it, with his father right behind him saying, "Where are you going? Where are you going?" And like the father punches a caroler in the face and throws him off an escalator because apparently he doesn't like Christmas carols. My jaw dropped on the floor and I just laughed. It was just a big old belly laugh from me. I felt a bit bad, but I can't deny it. There's a lot of stuff, because this does take place in the late 80s. There is a lot of stuff where I was just in there thinking to myself, there's no way this would happen today in any context. Just any of the stuff that this boy did would be just a non-factor. Like, it wouldn't even be frowned upon. It wouldn't even be discussed at all. But overall, I thought the movie was fun. It had a very nice ending. The actors all did a good job, and there was some genuinely funny moments. So, not perfect, but definitely worth a watch. And that is it for Christmania 2022. Thank you all so much, as always, for watching. I'm sorry I'm not in more festive attire. It is extremely cold in Florida. I think someone forgot to pay a bill or something. But I'm wearing more clothes than I normally would because it is so cold. But thank you all so much for watching. I know some of you have been following the reviews throughout. Shout out to you, Jeremiah. Thank you so much. But if you watch just one review or all of them or even some of them, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And going forward throughout the rest of the month, it's going to be best movies of the year, worst movies of the year, my over-under video where I talk about 5 overlooked movies and 5 underrated movies from this year, and continuing my Shyamalan project with my review of Signs. So there's a lot coming to the channel in the next week or so as we roar into 2023. But thank you all so much for watching from the bottom of my heart. I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.